A warm welcome to the All Things Year 6 podcast, where we unravel the maze that is Year 6 and the all-important transition to Year 7. My name is Ty Aina, and in today's episode, I'll be discussing how we as parents can make the transition from being our children's problem solver to enabling them to start solving problems on their own. I want to start by saying that the theme of today's episode is particularly close to my heart, both as a teacher and as a parent. Over the years, my thinking and approach to solving the problems that my students might encounter in school and the problems and challenges that my own children have encountered in their school journey has been completely transformed. And I have to say that the teachers of this transformation for me have been my children. Let me start by setting the scene for you. When our children transfer from the confines of a predominantly home environment, that is, unless they have experienced time in a nursery setting, but they've gone straight from home to a school setting, a school environment, immediately our mama and papa bear radar is not just switched on, it is heightened. We want to make sure as much as we can that our children's school experience is the best that it can be, and rightly so. One of the things that this means to us is that we are their problem solver. So when they come to us with problems and challenges that they are experiencing at school, we dive straight in, take ownership and solve it for them. This might mean emailing their class teacher, calling the school, popping in to see the class teacher after school, or perhaps even speaking or taking on another parent. Again, perfectly natural. You know, the idea that our children might be struggling or having a hard time or just not enjoying being at school really tugs at the heartstrings. However, as our children grow and the challenges and problems that they experience may increase just due to the fact that they're getting older, they're interacting on a greater social level, they're widening their circles of interaction, and it's natural for them to encounter more problems and challenges, friendship issues around being organised, their learning. What continues to happen is that our protective instincts towards, still ensuring that learning experience continues to be a positive one, it's further heightened. And we continue to want to just simply take their problems away. Well, I believe through my own experiences as a parent and educator that what we unwittingly do is we stifle their growth. Let me explain. Let me go into the why I think this is so. As my own children move through their primary journey, particularly towards the end of Key Stage 2 through to early secondary, so Year 7, Year 8, I noticed a shift in the way they approached problem solving, and importantly, how they wanted me to approach problem solving for and with them. They would, of course, still come and share problems and challenges that they were facing at school. But it was often quickly followed by, "Mum, don't email my teacher," or "Mum, don't call the school," or "Mum, please don't speak to that parent." They were not asking me to completely back off and leave it alone, because in sharing the problem or the challenges, they wanted me to know. They wanted me to know. But instead, I realised that what they wanted me to do was to release the ownership of the problem or challenge and give it back to them. But I wasn't redundant. Rather, I moved from the role of being the problem solver to now being a sounding board and an advisor. We would have discussions about the problem, the challenges, but importantly, possible solutions. I'd encourage them to offer their own solutions. I would offer solutions. Other members of the family, if invited, would also offer solutions. So big brother, big sister, particularly if, they've experienced similar problems and challenges themselves. So we'd end up with a pool of solutions. I would then give them ownership to choose the solution that they wanted to go with, the solution that they felt most comfortable applying. Of course, there were no guarantees that the solution chosen would work, but what they recognised and what they knew was that we had backups. Little did I realise that what I was doing was enabling them to develop a solution-focused approach to problem solving. So not to run away from problems or challenges, to acknowledge them, to own them, and then look for a solution. The wonderful thing is that my children have continued to use this approach to problem solving even now as young adults. As a teacher, I began to encourage the same practice with my Year 5 and Year 6 students, giving them ownership and enabling them to look for solutions to their problems and challenges. I think earlier in my career, my natural default was to problem solve for my students. So they would approach me as they do at playtime or lunchtime and share the problem. I'd listen to both or all sides of the equation, and then I'd immediately offer a solution, and off they went. But what would happen is that they would quickly return with the same problem, the same challenge, and I'd repeat the process. What I then started to do was to give them the space to become a facilitator. So they would approach me, they'd share the problem, the challenge, I'd listen, as I always do, but I would say to them that I wanted them to sit together and I'd like to see if they could come up with solutions as a group, as a pair, as a team. And I would instruct them that once they had, again, a pool of solutions, that they should choose the one that they all wanted to go with and then apply it and see if it worked. I'd, of course, continue to earwig from my desk just to ensure that all parties were being heard and that they were treating each other with respect and courtesy. And if I needed to interject, of course, I was ready to. What I noticed very, very quickly was that they soon began to come to me and not actually share the problem or the challenge anymore, but they'd simply say, Mrs. Ina, are you going to be in the classroom? Can we just have 10 minutes or 15 minutes? Can we just sit in the book corner? Can we sit at the table? We need to talk. We've got a problem or a challenge that we need to discuss. Additionally, I noticed that the incidences of them needing that time, that space to discuss and sort out their problems decreased, became fewer. And so it really was a light bulb moment. It was a revelation. The wonderful result of this is that it further develops independence, confidence, and resilience. In turn, the increased independence, confidence, and resilience encourages and enables your child to take control of any problems, to take ownership of any problems and challenges, because they feel empowered to do so. And then the cycle, repeats itself. They feel more confident, more resilient, more independent. And as I said, it was just a light bulb moment. And it's something that I've continued to do today. I'm often approached by parents who will just simply say to me, look, my child's having a really hard time at school at the moment. They're struggling with this, or this is a problem, that's a problem, this is a challenge. It's overwhelming them. One of the things that I've suggested to many parents is this, and I'll give you this tip as we near the end of this episode. I've suggested to parents to actually get a notebook. So you can get a notebook where your child can actually write down the problem or the challenge. So what you're doing is you're taking the problem out of their mind space, which is full of lots and lots of other things. Sometimes it's a bit of a mind fog, and so you're taking this problem or challenge out, so it doesn't appear so abstract, and you're writing it in a notebook, so it's concrete, it's there to see. You're acknowledging that problem exists. And then you go through the same process of offering solutions. They also offer solutions. You invite solutions, as I said earlier, from other members of the family, if that's what your child wants. And those solutions are written in this notebook. And then your child chooses the solution that they want to go with, the solution that they want to apply. And you can even highlight it. So you might have a list of, 4 or 5 solutions. Highlight the one that they want to go with. And then they go away and they apply that solution. If that solution has been successful, they come back and they cross out that problem. So in effect, that problem no longer exists. It's incredibly empowering. That problem no longer exists. If the solution didn't work, they can come back to that book. It's concrete, it's there, it's in front of them, and they can choose something else. But once a solution has been applied and it's been successful, they cross out that problem, and it's very empowering. And you can continue to use this notebook. So when another problem appears, again, out comes the notebook, write it down, gather solutions, let your child take ownership to choose and apply, and they take great pleasure in crossing out the problem once it's been resolved. What you will often notice with the notebook approach is that it doesn't end up being a permanent resource. You'll find after a while that your child actually becomes comfortable with just having discussions and sharing the problem, pulling the solutions and running with it. They will no longer need that, concrete notebook. And as I said, it's one of the most empowering, things that I've discovered as a teacher, as a parent, and it's been completely transformative. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you've had some light bulb moments. I hope you are able to take away something from today's episode that you can begin to implement straight away. Take care and see you next time. Bye-bye.